Does this sound familiar? I hate my job, but I love the salary. I don't like what I do, but I'm pretty good at it. I don't like what I do, but the chances of finding a job that I'm going to truly enjoy are slim or none. And changing careers is so risky, that's why I stick with what I have. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And there are so many people that feel exactly that way. And we talked about the what last time. We'll review the what very quickly here. But let's really focus in on, and we're going to obviously get to that towards the end, the how to get out of that mindset so that you can achieve the things in life and become one of the great achievers that you always dreamed you could become. You know, the fear of change holds people back. The simple fear that things can end up worse keeps people in their current misery. Many people can't even find a reason to step outside of their safe bubble, but they complain that they're miserable. At some point in life, people's need for self-preservation becomes so strong that they won't choose anything else that can possibly guarantee them a better life. We all resist change at some level in life, but crave a better life at the same time. But our resistance keeps us away from having those types of experiences. People suffering from comfortable misery run efficiently on autopilot without stopping to think about other experiences outside the usual safe cycle that they built for themselves. Comfortable misery, my friends, is a steady process that becomes more and more intense over time. It can even make you more judgmental about things and less likely to want to be in the company of other people. So how do you break out of comfortable misery? What's the blueprint? What's the how do we do it? Well, you can wait until your current situation becomes a crisis and then you're compelled to act, or slowly embrace the change and the risk that you can control and manage. You got to take responsibility and plan your action. You're not stuck. Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo tells us, breaking your own mold can only make you stronger and more confident to reach higher levels in your professional and personal life. When you're challenged and embrace discomfort, you're asked to become more than you were. And that means creating new perspectives, acquiring new skills, and creating better experiences and improving your craft. The first thing you have to have is your why, your purpose, your goal, the vision. And you have to plant that seed every single morning. Repetition means retention. And once you keep feeding yourself that day after day after day after day, it will become a burning desire. That's the habit you have to have. You need to have a morning ritual where you have quiet time, where you're alone, and you think about what it is you want to achieve. There's the what. So now let's talk about the how. And in one of my previous videos, I went over this. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version of this time. It's making change for $1. How do you make change for $1? And when you do that, to make it simple, I use the actual change that you would use to make $1. So let's start with two 50-cent pieces. The first thing you have to recognize is there's two pieces, two half dollars. One of them is thought. The other one is action. You've got to have that thought, that vision, that impetus to try something, to do something, to achieve something great. And then you must follow it with action. Now here is the part that takes most people out. The part that takes most people out is that they have to see a game plan from the starting line all the way to the finish line. This is the wrong thing, the wrong philosophy. The key thing is get to the starting line. All you need is an initial game plan. Keep that end result in your mind, but just as when you get in your car and you're driving to work, you know, you have a long-term goal, you're getting from your house to your office or wherever you work, and sometimes there's a stop sign, sometimes there's a red light, sometimes there's a detour, so you still keep your mind on the long-term aspect, but you're willing to make changes and you have new starting lines all the time. That is the philosophy that works not only with going to work, but it also works with your life. Get to the starting line. Give you a quick example, quick story. When I was a young man and basketball was my life, I had certain jumping ability and good timing, and I saw that some of the other players who were better than I were, when a shot would go up and it would miss, that they would be tipping the ball in. Well, sometimes the ball can be tipped in with your right hand, but sometimes it has to be tipped in with your left hand. So you have to develop that coordination. So I said to myself, I need to learn how to be better coordinated with my left hand. Well, if you're starting off at ground zero and you don't have much coordination in your left hand, and you take the ball and you're trying to tap it against the basket to develop that coordination, you become frustrated very, very quickly because you lose control. So what did I do? I invented something for myself that made it easier. So what did I do? Very simply, I went up to a wall, a big wall. I didn't go up to the basket, just a wall, and I took the ball and I just continually tap it right there, and then I would move back and move back and move back until I got very good and very coordinated at doing that. And then I went to the backboard and started doing the same thing. And then after a while, what happens, once you develop that habit, then you become proficient at tipping the ball in. So when the ball goes up and all you have is your left hand and you can tip it, that's because you've worked on it. The key thing though is to get to the starting line, and then you create new starting lines for yourself. So once again, the $50 is the thought, is 50% is 50 cents, and then the other 50 cents is action. And I should say it may be even more than 50 cents, the action. You've got to take action. You've got to get to the starting line. You don't have to see the finish line of the race, but you will create brand new starting lines over and over and over and over again. All right, moving along, making change for dollar, 4 quarters. There are 4 seasons in the year: winter, spring, summer, fall. Life is like that. So you're going to have a winter where you're going to have to protect what you have. You're going to have a spring, and in the spring, that's when you've got to plant your seeds. You plant the seeds. You nourish them. You work with them. You water them. You fertilize them. All right, during the winter, you're thinking about what seeds am I going to plant? And you put those seeds on a front burner. This is the key thing, is to get to the front burner. Is you plant those seeds in your mind, and then in the spring you do the actual planting. That's what we just talked about, the thought and then the action. And then you have summer, which is your growth period, where you're continually changing new starting lines. And as you advance to the next starting line, you're getting closer and closer to the finish line, and you are growing as an individual. And then finally you have the fall, where you're able to reap the harvest and gather in the crops so that you can have a new starting line, have a new vision, and advance even further. Does that make sense? So nature has given us the clue: winter, spring, summer, fall. That's how your life looks. Take advantage of that. Understand that's the way the world is. Make your move. Next thing, 10 dimes in a dollar. Now here's one of the things that stops a lot of people, is they wait for the outside circumstances to change, and they say, well, I can't do this because these are the circumstances. So one of the things you want to do, there are 10 dimes in a dollar, one of the things that you want to do is you want to try 10 different things that take you just a little bit out of your comfort zone. And when you do that, you will see the outside circumstances change, but you have to take the initial action. Here's one of the easiest ones, and this is one that you'll see immediately. When you go into work in the morning, or when you go to the supermarket, or when you go any place where there's people, even if you're wearing a mask in today's times, say good morning. Normally you would just walk past, but say good morning. Guess what's going to happen to the outside circumstances? They are going to change. You've said good morning, and now the other person is compelled to say good morning, or how are you, or how, what's happening, or whatever they would say in response. So keep in mind that the first action, responsibility for action, rests upon you, and try it, and you will see that the outside circumstances will change, and then you've got a new starting line, don't you? The point here is get out of things that you're doing on a comfortable basis. And why do we say that? Because if you want to be an achiever, you have to get out of your comfort zone. How do you become a great reader? You read more often. How do you become a great dribbler? You practice dribbling. How do you become a great thinker? You spend more time thinking. This isn't any different. Spend more time getting out of your comfort zone. What are some things that you can do? Okay? Brush your teeth with your offhand. Instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand, brush your teeth with your left hand. When you're putting on your shoes, you usually put on your socks, and you put on your shoes. Well, this time put on a sock and a shoe, and a sock and a shoe. Just try something different. All right? It's as simple as that. Trying different things. And that takes you out of your comfort zone. When you're having dinner, have pancakes and eggs for dinner. Have something different. Change your routine. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. And once you start to do that, you will become more comfortable being uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So the purpose of this exercise is find 10 things that you can do that are just tweaking the way you do things, and do them. Change them. Just for the sake of change. Just for the sake of not doing the routine thing. Just for the sake of getting out of your comfort zone. And then, when you are challenged to get out of your comfort zone in a bigger way, it will be easier because you've already practiced, haven't you? The next thing, there's 10 dimes in a dollar, there's 20 nickels in a dollar. Try this. Consciously, every day, say thank you at least 20 times to people that you interact with during the day. Just a simple thank you. Watch how things around you will change. Watch how you make people feel when you say thank you. People like to be acknowledged for, one, existing, and two, for doing something. So the person at the checkout counter at the supermarket, thank you. The person that's the bagging, that's putting the groceries in your bag, thank you. The person that holds the door for you, thank you. You want to, and count them, keep track of them, and I say at least 20 times, say thank you. At least 20 times. And you will see around you how circumstances will start to change, will start to open up for you. It's crazy the way it works, but the point here is when you do something different, you get different results. When you get out of your comfort zone and you do something different, you're going to get different results. You want to establish that habit. Okay, there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So what 100 things am I going to have you do? Well, there's 3 sides to the balance sheet. There's the personal side to the balance sheet, there's the business side to the balance sheet, and there's a spiritual side to the balance sheet. And they're not all equal. Some people are more spiritual, some people less so, some people more, focused on their business right now. It depends on, where you are, what you're doing. But there's 3 sides to the balance sheet, and you have to pay attention to each one. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. All right? What you want to do is you want to say to yourself through repetition what we call affirmations. Say to yourself certain things on each side of the balance sheet. I'll give you an example. One of the things I might say is, I'm a good dad because I dedicate a fixed amount of time at least every day to Eli, and I listen to what he says and I pay attention to it. Do you follow what I'm saying? And if I say that to myself 33 times during the day, am I focused on Eli? Am I focused on spending time with him? Am I focused on listening to him? Am I focused on working with him? Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, it's easy with Eli. Eli, I love Eli, but if there's somebody, in your sphere of influence, in your orbit, that you need to spend more time with, this repetitious affirmation will help you get there. Some are easier than others, all right? But give yourself those, repeat 33 times. I'm a good dad because I will spend quality time with Eli. I will listen to what he says. I will work with him. I will enjoy time with him. And you just say it over and over, and then you start to visualize doing that, and you think of ways to get that done. That's one side of the balance sheet. Let's talk about the business side of the balance sheet. You might say, if you're in sales, I'm going to make 2 sales today that are going to add value to everyone that was involved in the transaction. And you say that to yourself 33 times or 34 times. And you say that as an affirmation. And this is so easy to do. You're in your car, you're driving, just say it to yourself 33 times. All right? Say it over and over and over and over. And repetition puts it in the forefront of your mind, puts it on a front burner. Okay, what we're focusing on is front burner thinking. And when you have front burner thinking, then it's easier to get out of your comfort zone. The visualization of the end result is a motivating factor. It makes your why stronger and stronger and stronger. Now on the spiritual side, people have different levels of spirituality. As somebody with my channel, I like to keep kind of a neutral perspective on this. So one of the things that I might say is, I am one with the infinite mind. I am one with nature. And I would repeat that over and over again, so that things that I see during the day, relationships, incidences that happen, I will accept them as the infinite mind having a little piece of the action, having a say-so, and having that communication. Does that make sense? So the 3 sides to the balance sheet, the personal side, the business side, the spiritual side. Have a short sentence, an affirmation sentence that you say to yourself over and over and over again. It helps you with the visualization, and when you repeat something, then it becomes you and you start to own it. Does that make sense? Okay, I want to give you a quote now from T. Harv Eker, E-K-E-R, and I quote, "Nobody ever died of discomfort. Yet living in the name of comfort has killed more ideas, more opportunities, more actions, and more growth than everything else combined." Comfort kills. So please, get out of your comfort zone. New and different action is the best remedy for comfortable misery. Remember, you alone have that power to change what's not working in your life. And don't just continue to do it because you're comfortable with the misery. And when you do change, the only thing you have to lose is the repetitious misery that you feel that you're suffering. So, let's never end a meeting on a philosophical note. Let's get out of our comfort zones and let's charge! I'm Eli's dad.